Hi friends, Benjamin here. I am currently isolating in my apartment. Apparently I was exposed to one, maybe more people that had tested positive for COVID over drill weekend, so mandatory 5-day isolation. Thankfully, no symptoms, but while the past several days have been teleworking, today is a down day, leaving me some time to do another COVID contemplation. Remember, these are unedited and unscripted musings on any given topic. And today I've been thinking a bit about some stuff I've ran into trying to get a good bank account for the ministry. One of the things I've learned is apparently a lot of banks are going to something called ESG ratings. That's environmental, social, governance. It's something of an additional type of credit score that a bank will assign to an organization, maybe an individual, that will affect the kind of business they can do with the bank. Now, ESG like I said, it stands for environmental, social, and governance. And the ESG standards are a way for the banks to incentivize certain types of behavior on the parts of their customers. So, if they want their businesses that do business with the bank to go to zero carbon emissions, then if a landscaper who is wanting a small business zone to expand their business is using gas-powered lawnmowers and weed eaters, things like that, then they may not be able to get a small business zone. The part that concerns me is the social side of it. Because the way this could play out in the case of a ministry is, let's say a ministry has decided that, okay, it's not right for preteens to be exposed to pornographic material in school curriculums, which, if you've kept up with the news reports, that sort of thing's actually been going on, and the ministry gets very publicly vocal about it. Well, since the social standard would say that that's actually a good thing for kids to be educated about that type of sexuality and gender theory, things like that, that means that ministry would have a lower social rating, which means it may not even be able to keep a bank account with the particular bank where they're already doing that. And if a ministry can't have a bank account, how does the ministry do business? It's a good question. You can see where this would incentivize that type of thing. Governance, it's not clearly discussed how that's going to play into the ESG side of things, but let's just say that the government is part of the one that sets the environmental and social standards that the banks use to determine the business or individual ESG ratings. So this is something of a concern to me. As the culture becomes more and more hostile toward Christian belief and practice, how are churches going to be able to maintain their ability to pay staff, collect donations, do charitable works with the funds they bring in, things along those lines? Don't know. My mind goes to something I read in The Benedict Option by Rod Dreher. It's a book I finished recently that kind of looks ahead toward what do Christians need to do in order to maintain a coherent and meaningful presence in society when the society itself is pretty much cut loose from the religious moorings that it had long held. Well, what he looks at is some of the Christian nations in Eastern Europe. Those nations were overtaken by a completely secular regime, all Marxist, that was very hostile toward the Christian churches. And in the countries where they came out of their time under Marxism strong and coherent, what had happened is the churches had effectively created an alternate polis, almost like a parallel society. So rather than rely on the normal social institutions, Christians started creating their own alongside them. We see the same thing with Bonhoeffer, where the seminaries had gotten kind of off the rails, sort of cooperating with the spirit of the age, if you will, and Bonhoeffer created, along with some others, a separate seminary system. Well, I'm starting to wonder if the ESG standards become the norm, and if you do even a 15-second search on them, you'll find that this is actually becoming a standard way for banks to do business. They're still new and still being rolled out, but still there. That maybe there needs to be some financial ministries of the sort of almost a separate banking structure, an opportunity for churches to be able to maintain bank accounts, but not ones that are going along with ESG. Don't know. So what do you think? Am I off the rails about this? Have you heard about ESG? Have you not? These totally new thoughts? Let me know what you think. Comment down the section below. Please keep them respectful. And let me know what you think. And feel free to like, share, and subscribe. I'm not able to keep up many videos on this channel, but I do hope to start putting out more in the coming year. So feel free to check back in and see what we've got. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.